Good morning. So I want to talk about jealousy. It's something that I woke up this morning and it was very much in my consciousness. Um, and I want to talk about transcending jealousy. And I'm talking about jealousy of a spouse or of a life partner. I'm not talking about right now about jealousy of substance, like jealousy of what others have. I'm talking about jealousy of your spouse or of your life partner or of a romantic jealousy. And I really want to uh, transcend because I understand that in transcending jealousy, in order to transcend jealousy, you have to be in your highest power. Because what is jealousy? Jealousy is a feeling that is insecurity. Is I'm not enough in myself. This other person is going to find somebody else more interesting than me. It's not being sure in your place with your partner. It's not trusting your partner, and it's not trusting the universe and allowing, because there's so many different ways to look at it. Like if you are always in fear that you're first of all, we create our realities, right? So if we're always in fear that our spouse is going to go, then with the we're jealous that they're going to uh, that what is jealousy? Jealousy is, jealousy is an emotion, but what is the act of jealousy? The act of jealousy is to hold on to somebody, to try to control. It's a controlling. That is what jealousy creates. It creates a tendency to try to control, but it's trying to control things that are outside of you. It's trying to control another. And nobody wants to be controlled. Nobody wants to, unless they have insecurities, and having somebody controlling over them gives them a kind of security, which is kind of off, right? It's not balanced. Um, but in a healthy relationship, nobody wants to be controlled because we each have our own life experience. And this is the only life experience. I don't want to hinder, especially somebody that I love, hinder their life experience. And even if part of their life experience is that they have to meet this other person and have a tango with them, and it because that person meets them in certain places that gives them life lessons or stimulates something in them that that I don't particularly stimulate in them, then I want them to maximize this life experience, because that's all this is. Once we leave this life, that's it. The experience is over. I don't want to be at the end of somebody else's life where they think back and they say, where I was an inhibitor of things that they wanted to fulfill and they didn't fulfill because they had me hanging on them, trying to pull them down next to me, sit next to me, don't move from me, don't go out and have all these other life experiences. And I want to tell a story of how I got to this. Is yesterday I went to the hot springs and there are a couple of men there that I've met before. Um, Incredible people, very, very smart, unique. It seems like at the hot springs, because it's like an old rundown place and it's kind of like it's right along the border, and the army keeps closing it off, but we keep finding paths how to get into it. And it's kind of like it's like a meeting place for people that are unique, that go out of their way to find, like, and it's really cool, especially in the winter, because the water is like really hot, and it smells like sulfur, like eggs. It's like I always smell like eggs a little bit. I don't know how much that's gonna help with all the dating plans. That's so funny because in this morning's video, I was talking about opening up for dating, and I was thinking about a particular person that lives overseas, um, my shaman, and I like a few minutes later after I finished that video and I got home and I was helping my son get off, all of a sudden he wrote me. And we've had kind of like in the last couple of months, like but he lives overseas. He lives in Brazil. And so in the last few months, we've kind of been having a go in between, kind of like a overseas flirtation kind of thing going on. And I think that's about all I've been able to handle in these last few months. But it's so funny how just this morning I thought of him and I was talking on that video about thinking about the possibilities of opening up and then he wrote me. It's like it's just what I was talking it's just the topic I was talking about this morning about how our thoughts and our words create our realities and we cast spells. So energetically, and I told him that also, and he understands those kinds of things. And I told him that also, that I thought about him this morning. And he said, well, then you kind of made me come into your reality. And I said, yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like I pulled you in because it's like we don't talk like maybe, every few weeks or so. It's funny. And so, and so I went there and I met these two men. And this one of them I've known for a while there, but the other one, the second one, I met him last time I was there, and he's a really handsome, tall, good-looking guy. He's in his early 50s, but he looks like he could be in his early 40s. He's like really well kept and really handsome and very attractive. Also, the way that is about him, right? And when we first started talking the time before yesterday, he was telling me like we barely started talking, and he kind of stuck in sideways in the conversation that he's married. And I already know that if somebody goes out of their way to bring that up into the conversation, it means that they are like trying to put up a like don't they're don't flirt with me. I'm married, or don't get any ideas. And it's so obvious to me. It's just like, so I just continued talking to him like nothing, and then in the continuation, he brought it up again, like he had to bring it in there. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I was thinking to myself that that I could have told him, listen, don't worry, I don't go out with married guys, so you don't have to worry about all that. You can just at ease, be at ease, with me. I'm not gonna try to push myself on you or try to come on strong or anything like that. I'm just being. And yesterday when we met, it was a way more open and like easygoing conversation. And then I even told him that. I told him, yeah, 2 minutes of you meeting me, you had to put in there that you have a wife. And he started talking to me about how that his wife is jealous. And he was telling me that he was there where he was, that she didn't know where he was, that he told her that he was somewhere else, and because she would get jealous and she doesn't want him off doing things without her. And I was thinking to myself, look at the jealousy. First of all, it says a lot about her security in the relationship. But not only that, he was there and he was having fun, and it's making, almost forcing him that if he wants to have fun and enjoy things in his life, he has to do it behind her back. So she is actually creating the exact opposite of what she wants. If and I was thinking to myself, and I even said it there in the conversation, I said, well, what I really want is to transcend jealousy altogether. And then, because if I'm with somebody that I truly, truly love, and I want them to have this grand life experience. If I love them, I want them to have a grand life experience. I'm not going to want to hinder their experience. And I'm also going to want to enjoy their experience, because he came there and he was having a lot of fun. He was with his friend and they were doing all sorts of projects. And I mean, they were out in nature, right? So they built a fire and they were making coffee over the fire, and they built this big fireplace with all these rocks, and they had to go out and get wood. And they were having a blast. They were having like a man cave time. And he was hiding it from her. And I was thinking to myself, if my partner for life is just that, is a partner, is somebody that I want to enjoy his enjoyments with him. Like if he goes and does something that's really fun, I want him to be able to come home and tell me about it. Oh, look at this fun thing I did. And then, I want to share. And I don't want to also, when you allow someone to go and they feel free, they want to come back. But when you're like holding somebody like this next to you, who wants that? They're trying to go. So you're creating the opposite of what you want when you're trying to hold on to somebody. And it was also, just by the energy of what he was saying, how she was jealous, but he was happy with it. But I love her and I'm there and I'm this and that. But he wasn't looking at jealousy as the same way that I'm looking at jealousy. I'm actually looking at the jealousy, not at the relationship. I mean, when you look at the jealousy, it's a telltale story of the dynamics of the relationship, right? But there are things that you can know just from there being jealousy in the situation, which is insecurities. Because if I am completely secure in myself, um, I am going to, and somebody is next to me, I'm going to trust that person that is next to me, for what it is. And if and and if they want to go and they don't want to be around me anymore, I certainly don't want to hold them. And I certainly don't want to stop the maximizing of their experience and not allow them to have a full life experience with all the colorful aspects of it, all the different people you meet and all the different, yeah, that's what I was saying this morning about dating, is that every single person that you meet opens up a whole world for you. All the things that they're in, all of their life experience, all the things that they know, all of the things that they like to do, foods that they know, places that they know, people that they know. They open up this whole grand um, world for you. And I don't want to close somebody's world because of fear that they might leave me, a fear of abandonment, insecurities. I'm not good enough for this person, so they may leave me. So I need to hold on to them. And and then it creates like this unhealthy dynamic. So what I am really wishing for myself is to transcend jealousy. And I was talking this morning about real spells and real magic. And I was thinking about how to cast spells on myself for my own life experience, right? It's the same as affirmations. It's the same thing as affirmations, telling myself a story that I want, reprogramming my mind. I can cast spells on myself and reprogram my mind and put in new beliefs. And when I actually look at it as something that is like casting spells, because when you cast spells, you go inward all the way and you can actually see the cells, the cells. Yeah, you can actually see the entities leaving you, or the energies. You can shift the energies within you when you go deep into like a meditative state. When you go into your subconscious, you can go all the way in there and you can reprogram it. And then it's much quicker when you do it in that way. When you do it right before sleep or right in the morning. That's when I meditate. As soon as I get up in the morning, before I even really get out of bed. I get out of bed and drink water and like just do the body maintenance, brush my teeth, go pee, drink water. I go lay right back down in bed when I'm still in that kind of hazy zone and go into deep meditation. And it seems to just go, I go straight in. My third eye, I feel it open. I go, sometimes it opens like, it's really strange because sometimes it'll open on the side. Sometimes I can see, it's kind of like, am I out of alignment when that happens? How does that happen? Does anybody else have that experience where when you feel your third eye opening, like you can feel it opening, right? And usually it's right here, but sometimes it'll come in places that are like a little bit off center or behind my eye or something like that. And this morning, I was reaching for my crown. This morning, instead of reaching for my third eye, I was reaching for my crown. And I want to have access because in my third eye, I've been meditating for years now, and my third eye, it's really easy. It doesn't happen every day. Sometimes when I'm completely out of balance, like I'll call myself as much as I can, but my third eye doesn't open. Um, but this morning, when I was aiming for my crown, and that's what I want to do, I want to have my crown accessible. And also, when I go into deep meditation, this is something that I don't know if I've talked about before because it's kind of funny, kind of, strange to talk about also. I see that I'm talking about more and more strange things, but I also feel like I'm expanding my mind when I go into meditation. Part of my meditation is going through the different parts of my brain and bringing my attention to them and bringing energy flow. I don't know if it's blood flow also because I can actually go into the different parts of my mind and kind of focus on them and wake them up. I feel like I'm filling them with light. And there's some places in like here, especially that when I go into that place and I'm trying to get to the pineal gland. I'm trying to get there to where I can go in there and purposefully just open it up. But I go through the different parts. I go from here and then I go to here and then I do the different parts of my brain and I go back and forth and I can feel when I do that. And it's kind of like waking it up. I can feel kind of what that place is holding, what is held in that particular place. And these places are the easiest for me to access. And then here and here, but there's a place here and kind of here that are a little bit like grayish areas where I can feel where I can't completely expand. But I feel like in doing that I'm expanding my mind, that I am lighting all the electricity in my brain, and it's making the connectivity in my brain more. It's opening up more neurons for me, so that it is like broadening my possibilities of thinking. Like it's broadening my mind and allowing me to be more flexible of mind because all of those different neurons are open, right? So whenever I see something, my brain is free to perceive it in many different ways. Um, so that's about my meditation. Um, so with the jealousy thing, when you see the template on somebody else and you kind of hear about it from that side, and it really shines the light on it because I'm not in that relationship dynamic, and I could see what he was doing. He was just out having fun, even talking to me. Doesn't, and I could tell also by the fact that he was like straight away, "Oh, I'm married." That something about me um, was threatening to him and his relationship, or he felt like in order to be solid with his wife, he had to tell me straight away that he's married. And it's not just because I'm female, because if I was a man and we were having the same conversation that we were having, he would have never stuck in there, "I'm married" twice, stick it in the side where it doesn't even fit. It wouldn't have come up. So something about me, first of all, I know that he found me attractive because otherwise he would have never brought that up because it wouldn't have even been something that he would have thought of. I wouldn't have threatened his marriage in any way if he didn't find me somehow attractive. So there's so many things when you really understand dynamics of people, there's so many things that you can understand. And by watching him, even the conversation that he was having with me, his wife had no reason to be jealous of what he was doing other than trying to hold on to him and trying to own him, ownership over him. So when I'm looking from the side at the dynamics, I can see exactly what they are. They are insecurities. They are dominating and trying and controlling, right? Because that's what you're trying to do. When you're jealous and you're trying to hold somebody down, it's you're holding somebody to your weaknesses, right? Instead of you coming and standing into your strengths and allowing them to go fulfill their life, you are staying small. And think about it, jealousy is like a contracting. It's a contracting, it's a fear-based emotion. It contracts. It not only contracts you, and when you are jealous, you are one-minded. You are contracted. You're not broad and bright and full of life and all containing. It takes you down to this narrow little pitfall, and that's all your mind is in, and all the rest of you disappears. It's a fear base, right? So you're not expanding, you're contracting. And not only are you contracting, and it's like you're contracting, and you're also, when you fight your jealousy, like, no, you have to stay next to me, where are you going? You are fighting for your weaknesses. You are holding on to your weaknesses, and you are it's the dick. You are trying to make yourself right in a place that you're not right, right? You're trying to right and give legitimacy to your weaknesses. So you're not even willing to look inside and say, wait a minute, I'm not being whole here. I'm not being fair here. I can't control another person. Let me get over myself. Rather, you're saying, I am going to keep these narrow thoughts and feelings. And not only am I going to keep them and hold on to them and feel that grudge, I'm going to bind you to my weaknesses. That means you're going to have to come down off your tree, wherever you want to go and play, and you're going to have to come down to fulfill my fears. So it's really the opposite of love. Fear is the opposite of love, right? This is already known. Fear is the opposite of love. I can explain that in a different video sometime other when I feel inspired to do it. But fear, when we were kids, we always think love and hate are opposites, but they're not. Fear is the opposite of love. Love is all open. Fear is all closed. And not only are you creating that, you're also, your spouse or your partner, nobody wants to be held down like that. Like, I saw the guy yesterday, he said, I'm devoted to my wife. I'll never cheat on her. I'll put up, stick her in the conversation 10 different ways and 10 different times where it's not, like this. And, to show my loyalty, because I'm fighting for my loyalty, except for I'm out having a fun day hiding it from her because of her jealousy. So they're both getting the short end of the stick. Like, she also doesn't get to really experience him with him. Wow, you went and had a fun day and you did this and this and that. How fun for you. How exciting. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy to experience. And he has to hide something from her and can't share it with the person that is the closest to him, supposedly. So how does that work? How I can see, like, a partnership like that, it's not really a partnership. If one has to hide from the other and the one has to control the other, it's not there could be love there, but there's something there that is like, that's not what I want my relationship to look like. I want the man in my life to be able to fully experience his life and have relationships with whoever he wants, however he wants. And even if that it goes, even if it's not part of my experience, that's okay. It's his experience, and I have my own experience. So those are my thoughts on that. So thank you for watching.